Vineyard Ferment is really looking back at one of the oldest forms of making wine in the world. Initially when wine was made, it was put into earthenware outside where the grapes were. That has not happened for a long time, and these days fermentations are done inside, but our vineyard ferments are going back to what was done traditionally, and we're fermenting the grapes outside like they did when wine was first made. Our vineyard ferment is a world first. It's really an art that's been lost. This is going back to purposefully making wine outside, lending it back to nature. Each vintage we make of this is a true snapshot of time and place, and really a very close look at the season and the vineyard. It really shows the place through the microbial aspects, the natural yeast that are here in the vineyard that are performing the fermentation. The weather during harvest has a massive part to play in the nature of the wine, the ferment temperatures, the cold soak, therefore the colour and the feel and the tannin. Each vineyard ferment wine really represents the season. We love that aspect of it. We begin with hand picking the grapes. We use a team of around about 20 local hand pickers. They get to see the fruit that they're picking actually being processed right there in the rows of the vineyard. The winery team are out in the vineyard processing those buckets. So those buckets are tipped into the fermenter. The fermenter we've placed in the row where the grapes are growing. The first 20% of buckets go into the bottom of the fermenter, and then the last 80% go through our small distemmer. They're left to rest in the fermenter outdoors. The fermentation process takes about 4 days before it starts naturally, depending on the seasonal weather. The fermentation after that takes about another 2 weeks. So that's 2.5 weeks. We then leave it for around about another 1.5 weeks, totaling 1 month on skins in the fermenter out in the vineyard. At that time, we're looking to bring the fruit back to the winery press so we can press off the young wine and go into barrels. And there the wine rests for about 15 months. The idea is to treat it with very gentle hands, not intervene but let nature take its course. And that natural fermentation is followed later on in barrel by a natural malolactic fermentation, which is the important second fermentation in Pinot Noir. The wine is then bottled on site about 16 months after harvest in our own bottling line, and then we let it rest in bottle for about another 8 months before we release it. And then once it's released, it's out to the world. A big part of that is showing the wine here at the cellar door. It's a great place for people to enjoy it with local food, cooked by our amazing chef, but also it goes out to restaurants around the country and to certain export markets as well. When we drink our Greystone Vineyard Ferment, we see a real inherent beauty in the wine, a balance and a poise that comes not only from the human aspect, but also the season and the place. Something quite special for us.